Now, McDaniel was one of the candidates to go to Baltimore, and McDaniel is going to factor into what we're going to talk about as it relates to the Baltimore Ravens because they hired Jesse Minter to be the head coach. And there is a strong Harbaugh vibe emanating from Jesse Minter. 4 years with the Ravens as an assistant on the defensive side of the ball, defensive backs coach in 2020. That was his last season with the team. He went to Vanderbilt for a year before he landed in Michigan with Jim Harbaugh, 2 years defensive coordinator. Then Jim, Chargers, 2 years defensive coordinator. Now John gone, Harbaugh void in Baltimore. They ain't going to trade for Jim, so in comes Jesse Minter. Oh, and Mike Macdonald, by the way, and I have a feeling that had something to do with it because Macdonald had been Ravens defensive coordinator. That Harbaugh DNA with Jim, with John, doing great in Seattle. Jesse Minter's another Mike Macdonald. Let's go. And so it all makes sense. And the message is, we're out of the John Harbaugh business, but we're not out of the Harbaugh business.
Right. Mike, excellent point. I was thinking about this last night, and this is a good thing for the Ravens. It's an excellent organization. It is. It's funny that we're talking about the difference between we start off talking about the Bills and now we're looking at Baltimore. I know they both are disappointed they didn't get to the Super Bowl in the last few years, but the Ravens, there's a type that they're looking for. They know exactly what they want. There's a Ravens profile, there's a Ravens brand, and they stick to it. So my thought last night was, yeah, exactly what you said. They didn't have a problem with Harbaugh and Harbaugh's principles. It was, we need a different voice. We need a different voice. So maybe if we can go back 10 years and get John Harbaugh 10 years ago, that would work. No, we can't do that because we can't go back 10 years. But what we can do is get a Harbaugh type because he's very similar. I know he's a defensive guy and Harbaugh was a special teams coordinator when he came into the Ravens in his first year, but it's a similar thing. A really well-rounded, energetic, smart coach who fits Baltimore. If you just think in your mind's eye, you think Ravens coach, you mentioned Mike McDaniel, I'd say, no, that's not a fit. Jesse Minter, definitely. John Harbaugh, definitely. You can just see a Ravens type, and he's it. I think it's a really good hire for them.
And this shows that they want to continue what they had with John Harbaugh. They just wanted it to continue without John Harbaugh. And I say from time to time, because I believe it, because it's true, there's a subtle ageism, let's get the word out right, ageism issue in the NFL, whether it's with scouts, general managers, coaches, whatever. It's a young man's game, some would say. I had an executive say that to me recently. I said, don't make that your catchphrase. Because, and Sims and I argued about it, because Sims just accepts that's the way it is in football. Like football somehow gets an exemption. You know, the football locker room is already trapped in 1955 anyway. Let's go ahead and be openly ageist, even though the Age Discrimination and Employment Act specifically protects everyone between the ages of 40 and 75 from any type of job determination, adverse employment action, whatever it may be, based upon age. And if you have two equal candidates and you say, well, I'm going to take the young guy because it's a young man's game, you got a problem. And so we got the 42-year-old version of 63-year-old John Harbaugh. That may be what the Ravens were looking for. We're not looking for a new coach. We're just looking for a younger version of the guy we have.
Mike, I just wanted to say, I'm glad you brought it up because I heard the argument between you and Brother Sims about ageism. And my thought as I was listening to it, I was like, well, Chris, wait until you turn 50. Like, he doesn't see it. Because it's funny, he doesn't see it, but he's not 50 yet. Wait until you turn 50. Because it's not just the NFL. It's not just the NFL. It's a lot of industries. And a little bit more age will, I guarantee, will change his perspective. One day, you guys in about what's Sims, right? Early 40s, probably.
He's 45.
You guys, is he 45? Okay.
Yeah.
In 5 years, you guys are going to be at a party. You're going to be at some event, and he's going to say, you know what? You're right. You're right. He'll see it. There's no question. There's no question there's an ageism problem, not just in the NFL, but across many industries. And you look at it, and this is not ageism like, whoa, oh, you're 85 years old. Why do you expect to do that job? No, it starts to happen pretty subtly. And so you're sitting there in your 50s or early 60s, and you still have an ability to do the job at a high level. And there are certain people who look at you and say, no, I'm just not, I don't believe it. I don't trust it. I want somebody a little younger, a little more energetic with fresh ideas. Like they say it in all the euphemisms. You have all the words, but it exists. It exists. I know it has always existed, but it definitely is there. And the older you get, the more you see it.
I used to make my living chasing around companies that would engage in inappropriate employment practices based on any of the various protected characteristics. And one of the best cases I ever had, my client was sitting in a room with 30 other co-workers at a plant, half hour or so from where I'm sitting, and the boss made the comment, we just need to get some younger people in here, and that case settled. The really good ones settle. The really good ones settle because even the warped, twisted, skewed, might makes right, and we're always on the right side of things, and damn you meddling kids for trying to question us, sometimes they know. We just need to write the check and move on. So a lot of people don't realize, like two big things people don't realize about employment. Number one, they don't realize that there are protections based on age. And number two, they don't realize that there's protection against retaliation if you make some sort of a claim against the employer, like the Brian Flores thing, which, you know, maybe he could argue now, I don't know, he's not being properly considered because he sued the NFL. And most people are like, oh, yeah, well, you know, can you blame him? Well, it's not a matter whether you can blame him. It's baked into the law because you otherwise deter people from pursuing legitimate grievances. If you can just slam the door in their faces over having the audacity to stand up for themselves and pursue justice in a situation where they think they deserve it, and now you're just going to fire them or not consider them for employment or promotion or whatever, yeah, that people don't realize that, but that's a problem. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.